What's going on, guys? And as a real estate investor full-time, the most important thing that you can possibly value is your time. And this morning it is 10:30. I'm leaving the house and I want to make 2 offers on 2 separate properties before noon. And this is how I'm going to do it. Even though I cannot get into one of the properties, this is what I'm doing this morning.
Welcome to the Smack Fest, the beat down. The SWAT team is here on another beautiful day of shutting the week down.
Hey, if we're just meeting, my name is Dauria. I have a portfolio of single-family, multifamily, and commercial units. I live solely off of passive income, and I want to show you how you can do the same. So when looking at real estate property, being an investor or an entrepreneur in general, the most important and most valuable thing you can possibly have in your arsenal of tools as an entrepreneur is your time. So in this case, I am looking at a house about, let's say about 12 miles away, and then I have another house about 18 miles away. However, there is a little bit of a conflict. On the 12 mile away, I can get in there right now, I can look at it, and then I can write down what I'm going to offer. And then the 18 mile away one, I can't get in right now. I have to have a realtor to go in there because I am not a licensed agent. There's a little bit of conflict. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a blind offer on this property with a contingency, but this is how I'm going to do it. So the way it works is I'm going to drive by that second property I'm going to make a blind offer on this morning, and I'm going to at least make sure that it's in a decent location, because that's one thing I cannot rehab is the location. It is where it is. It's either a good neighborhood or it's a bad spot, and any prospective tenants are going to look at that neighborhood the same way as your first impression. So your first impression is most likely others. So when you drive up to that spot or that house, for instance, and you drive through that neighborhood, make sure it's a good spot, or at least a up and coming. And I don't mean like in the next 30 years. Like, make sure they're like, you know, being diligent about knocking down the cracker box homes. You know what I mean? Okay, so what I'm going to do is on that particular house, I am going to drive by. I'm going to make sure it looks the part. But while I'm there from the street, because it's occupied, I can't get out and I can't go inspect the property, I'm going to be looking at the brick for crack, which will be signs of foundation issues. I'm also going to look at the window edges around, because they're brand new windows, and I'm looking for, I say brand new in the last 5 years, I'm looking for any panel gaps in the windows to the brick, also shows foundation issues. I'm looking for ripples in the rooftop, which also shows foundation issues because I can't go inside right now. I'm also looking at the roof so I can kind of get an idea of the age, making sure they're not, discolored too bad, showing that they're too old, or they've got ripples, or here in North Texas we have terrible hail, so make sure they're not covered in hail. And from there, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go back to my house and I'm going to make an offer on the first one I'm looking at, and then I'm also going to make a blind offer on the second one. But the second one that I'm talking about, the drive-by on, I'm going to make an inspection contingency offer. Now, what that means is they're asking $135,000, and I'm going to come in at, like, we'll call it $110,000 cash. Now, when I say cash, guys, don't let that freak you out. If you don't have the money, you can still offer cash, okay? There's a way you can do it. You can contact like a hard money loan, for instance, and it could still be considered a cash offer, okay? Now, obviously, with the hard money, you would make sure you get out of that as fast as possible, so you would refi out of it because it is expensive money, but that's on more advanced tactics. But like I said, you can compete with cash offers, even though you're not a cash buyer, as long as the deal makes sense. Okay, and there's tactics around that. We're not going to go into that in this video. It's too long, but definitely check out my other videos. I definitely go into creative financing and stuff like that, because there are ways to compete with cash buyers. So I'm going to go in with a cash offer with an inspection contingency at $110,000. Now, this is another part of real estate investing that gets a lot of people flustered, is you have to be prepared to be turned down, because you're not going to get every offer. It is a numbers game. Some people will accept your offer, even though it's, quite a bit under asking, because you came in cash versus financing. You don't know what their motivation is, and if their motivation is to get out of there very quickly, and they bought this house a long time ago, that 110 might be more than fair. You're paying them more than they bought the house for anyways. The house does need a little bit of repairs, so not everybody is going to be on board with this house. And this house, I haven't walked through it, but this house might not even be FHA financeable at all. Basically meaning If the public went in there and said, I'll give you 135, and I have to go get financed through my bank, and the bank does an inspection, they say this property doesn't meet our criteria because it needs X, Y, and Z repairs, basically. Either the seller has to do them, and in a lot of cases they don't want to mess with them, or they have to sell it to an investor like myself, and that's where we come in, and that's where we can get people out from under these properties. Otherwise, they'd have to put $20,000 of their money into the property when they really just want to walk. So you don't know their motivation, so I highly recommend just using that V8 this morning. I highly recommend just getting out there, making the offer. You're going to get turned down, guys. You're going to get people that are saying that's ridiculous. You're going to get all that stuff, and you got to get that out of the way, and you got to start getting used to that, because the faster and sooner you can do that and the faster you can get used to it, the better, and the more deals are going to close, guys. Because in real estate investing, it's all about getting the most offers out there so you can get the most of them accepted. Not all of them are going to be accepted. Matter of fact, the vast majority are going to get shot down. And that's also why I don't want my real estate agent to drive 25 miles to go look at this house, because chances are they're going to shoot me down. So I don't want to waste her time, and her time is also valuable to me as well. Not only do I not want to have to drive out here a second time today, but I don't want her to meet me out there if they're not going to entertain a 110 offer in the first place. And that's really what it comes down to, is I really value my time and my real estate agent's time, the seller's time, and their agent's time as well. I'm going to come in, I'm going to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You guys interested? Yes or no? If not, I'm moving on. If they are, then I can justify spending a little bit more time with these people and ultimately, hopefully, closing this deal, guys. I know this is a real quick video. If you like this kind of content, I make several videos on this per week on real estate investing for passive income. I buy properties, I rehab them, I rent them out, and I put them in my portfolio, not just for me, not just for my kid, but for my kid's kid, and I want to show you how to do the same. Hey guys, consider subscribing to the channel, smashing that like button. Let me know if you got any comments. I want to answer them directly, and until next time, I will see you on the next one.
Lamborghini. Here, my Lamborghini here.